If you're considering the 8BitDo Ultimate Bluetooth controller for your Switch, Steam Deck, or PC, hold up, because this review might just save you from buyer's remorse. This controller promises a ton. Compatibility across multiple devices, Hall effect sensing joysticks, customizable back paddles, and a multifunctional charging dock. But here's what surprised me. It's not all smooth sailing, and some glaring issues could make hardcore gamers think twice before clicking buy. So, stick around if you want the honest truth before you spend your $54.54. Let's dive into why the 8BitDo Ultimate Bluetooth controller stands out, and where it trips over its own cables. But first, who is this controller really for? If you're a casual player who jumps between the Switch and PC, or you just got your Steam Deck and want a versatile wireless controller, this could be your new best friend. However, if you're a competitor chasing perfect input with zero lag or someone who loves buttery smooth ergonomics, be warned, this controller isn't flawless. Right off the bat, the selling point is obvious. The Ultimate Bluetooth boasts multi-device compatibility that's rare at this price point. It works via Bluetooth, 2.4G adapter, or wired USB-C. This means whether you're flipping between the Switch, Steam Deck, or even Windows PC, you're covered without buying an accessory for each. A nice touch is that it supports the Steam Deck natively, a big plus as that library grows. But here's a twist. While this controller aims for universal compatibility, the actual setup can be a headache. Some users report intermittent connection drops, especially over Bluetooth. Imagine pulling off that clutch move, only for your controller to randomly disconnect mid-game. Not exactly the ultimate experience. Switching to the 2.4G adapter fixes it, but then you lose a port and potentially freedom of movement. The wired option works smoothly, but then, who wants wires in 2024? So, versatility comes with trade-offs. Another highlight is the Hall effect sensing joystick technology. Unlike traditional potentiometer joysticks, Hall effect uses magnets to detect movement, promising increased durability and precision. In theory, perfect for players frustrated with stick drift, a common plague in gaming controllers. But in practice, while the joysticks feel solid, some users have found the dead zone settings in the software a bit tricky to fine-tune, which can translate into less precision during tight gameplay moments. Speaking of software, 8BitDo's Ultimate software for PC and mobile Android iOS is where you can unleash customization madness. From remapping buttons, like those two Pro back paddle buttons, to tweaking sensitivity, macro inputs, even creating and switching custom profiles on the fly, it's a dream come true for tinkerers. However, this power comes with complexity. New users often find the software overwhelming and not as intuitive as similar offerings from competition. You might joke, is this a controller or a spaceship cockpit? Let's pause for a moment for a quick joke break. Why did the game controller go to therapy? It had too many issues to handle. Okay, back to business. The multifunctional charging dock is another nifty feature. This dock not only charges your Ultimate Bluetooth controller, but also turns it on and off automatically when docked or undocked. It's a smooth experience that's rare in this segment and ideal for those who hate fiddling with power buttons. But funnily enough, the dock is quite sensitive to where you place the controller. Sometimes the controller won't charge properly unless it's perfectly seated, so it's not as set it and forget it as advertised. Battery life on paper sounds impressive. A 22-hour rechargeable battery with USB-C fast charging. This means marathon gaming sessions without charging stress. Yet, some users have reported the battery life dipping quicker after a few months of use, which might point to battery management issues or firmware bugs. If you're someone who likes to game non-stop on long trips, you'll want to keep a charger handy just in case. Now, what about the build quality and ergonomic design? The controller feels good in the hand, nicely weighted, with responsive buttons and a grip that's better than many budget controllers. The addition of two paddles at the back is a big win for competitive gamers who want extra inputs without finger gymnastics. But here's where personal preference plays a huge part. Some players find the paddle buttons a bit stiff or placed awkwardly, making long sessions uncomfortable. And if you have smaller hands, the size might feel a bit chunky. For fans of sensory feedback, the Ultimate Bluetooth doesn't disappoint. It packs rumble, vibration, and motion controls, adding to immersion in compatible games. However, reports suggest the vibration motors aren't as refined as first-party controllers, sometimes feeling either too weak or too noisy. Motion controls respond well on the Switch but can be hit or miss on Steam Deck or PC setups, depending on drivers. Rehook alert! Wondering if these quirks make the 8BitDo Ultimate Bluetooth a bust or a hidden gem? The answer isn't black and white. Let's explore how these pros and cons balance out. Story time. One of our testers bought this controller hoping to solve a major frustration, switching between the Switch and PC without juggling multiple devices. Initially, he was thrilled. Setup was a breeze, and the Hall effect sticks felt crisp. But after a week of use, Bluetooth connection drops during online matches almost made him throw the controller across the room. Switching to the 2.4G USB adapter stabilized the connection, but cramped his desk space. Software updates helped with configuration, and the paddles became a game changer for his layouts. By the end of the month, he was cautiously optimistic but not ready to call it perfect. Here's a joke for you. Why don't game controllers ever get lost? Because they always have a good connection. Speaking of connections, if you're someone who prioritizes connectivity stability above all else, especially for competitive gaming, the 8BitDo Ultimate Bluetooth might frustrate you. But if you're more about flexibility, customization, and don't mind tweaking settings or occasionally swapping between connection modes, it's an excellent value pick. Now, let's talk price value. Priced around $54.54 on Amazon, it sits comfortably below premium first-party controllers which often hit double that. For what you get, the Hall effect sticks, paddles, charging dock, and multi-platform compatibility, that's a solid bang for buck. You just have to weigh whether the quirks and occasional flakiness are worth the savings. One final curveball. 8BitDo regularly rolls out firmware updates for the Ultimate Bluetooth, aiming to fix bugs and improve features. This means the controller may actually get better with time, reducing issues like connectivity drops or improving battery management. If you're patient and tech-savvy enough to keep up with updates, this controller adapts in your favor. Rehook again. Want to know if the Ultimate software really gives you that edge over stock profiles? Absolutely. Having two custom profile buttons and paddles lets you program complex combos and switch loadouts mid-game. This can elevate both casual and serious players by mapping controls exactly how you want. Just be ready for initial setup time to tame the software beast. To wrap things up, the 8BitDo Ultimate Bluetooth controller is a versatile, feature-packed controller that punches above its weight, with some undeniable issues. Connectivity challenges, software complexity, and minor ergonomic flaws keep it from being a flawless champion. But if you value multi-device compatibility, robust customization, and a solid price, it's worth a serious look. If you want a controller to switch seamlessly between the Switch, Steam Deck, and PC without the hassle of multiple devices, and are fine with a bit of tinkering, the 8BitDo Ultimate could be your lasting gaming companion. So should you buy it? Yes, but with clear expectations. It's not perfect, but it's a top-tier value controller that continues to improve. And honestly, if your current controller is stuck in the stone age of single-device support and limited buttons, the Ultimate Bluetooth is a big step up. Here's one last joke to send you off. Why did the gamer bring a ladder to the tournament? Because they heard the competition was on another level. With the 8BitDo Ultimate, you're leveling up your gaming setup. Just maybe keep a charger and your patience close. Ready to get your hands on the 8BitDo Ultimate Bluetooth controller at the best price? Check out the Amazon link in the description below to grab yours today. Happy gaming, and may your connections never drop.